All right, what's good? It's your boy Hood, the CEO of Hood Films. What's up? This is the brand. This is the brand. This is the brand owner, Yusef Hood Films. My music brand is Yusef two times. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to what we do over here in our game. All right, so we're going to talk about how to make a hood movie. And I know you be like, hey, I don't watch hood movies. Hey, I ain't interested in hood movies. That is whack, man. All they do is sell drugs, do guns. I ain't interested in that shit. Or maybe they do trap movies today. Or maybe they do street movies or whatever you want to call it. Hood cinema. Basically, I have been doing filmmaking for like 25 years or maybe even longer, probably like 27 or something like that. I was like 23, 24 when I started. And I'm an old cat. You can see the gray beard. This was never here as I was raising up, but it got here as I got older. So I've been creating movies for a long time, and I kind of still do it. This is one of my cameras right here. As you can see, this is an older camera, but it actually does have a cinematic lens on there, and that's really just like a little breakdown right there. So this is what's called a cinematic lens. This is the 50 millimeter lens right here. This lens is basically a lens that kind of like it represents the normal eye. So what your eye would normally see between 35 and 50 millimeter. This is what your eyes would see. But this is a Rokinon lens, and this lens basically is fixed, so you can't zoom in, you can't do any of that stuff. But it allows you to get good shots. You know what I'm saying? Like a good medium shot, which or even like a waist up shot. It is a good shot for that kind of shit. And so it's good. And when you're doing a hood movie or any kind of movie, you definitely want to have you a dope ass camera because the camera is key. Sometimes the camera don't mean so much because the cell phone is out now, and these cell phones they have a situation where you can use these phones if you turn them this way, and it'll be called like horizontal, and then it'll show up on your camera full HD, full K, 4K, and that's dope. But if you hold it like this, it'll be vertical. A lot of art is shot like this: Instagram, Facebook, things of that, TikTok. But and then it's called vertical, so you can see a lot of stuff like that. But the way the internet works and the way the computers and TVs work is this way, from the cell phone, so you can film. And there's different apps on this cell phone that you can use to do filming. For instance, Filmic Pro. Filmic Pro is an app that you can find online, and it's dynamic as hell. That app does so much. Let me see if I can pull up the app and see if this is the main computer, so it won't actually bring up the app. But I want y'all to know about this shit because if y'all into this, you'll be into this. So let's go open up another one. Filmic Pro. We're gonna talk about this filmmaking shit because this is what we do here. We do filmmaking. So I'm gonna see if I can do a screen share so I can tell y'all and let y'all see this real quick. News now. Is it this one? No. I'm sorry. It's this one down here. Present screen cheesies. Let's get to that. All right. So you can see from this particular website, it's called Filmic Pro. You might not have been here before and even seen this app or because there's an app for your phone. But this is a really good cell phone app to make a movie with. So when it works on both phones, Google Play and Apple, and you can see right here, you can shoot both directions. It's the vertical look, and here's the horizontal look. I already got it on my phone, Filmic Pro. They actually have another update on this app, so it's like really official now. You know what I mean? I actually have an older version because what they did on this particular company is that you can get the app and you can do the stuff and film and use the app, but now they charging money. They want you to do it. So if you was already a customer that's prior to the time of them making a subscription base, then you can get the app and necessarily work without it. The stuff that this camera does, this is what you call a HD camera, DSLR camera, and this is a cell phone, obviously. But they do the same thing, except the cell phone has a little bit more push because you can actually shoot 4K on this cell phone. You can shoot ProRes on this cell phone. And these particular apps can actually pull it off. Even the camera app that's naturally in the camera can shoot in these app levels. So then the camera can only shoot in 1080p, and that's it. So it's got a limit. But YouTube and platforms like Amazon Prime and platforms like Tubi, they only want your stuff to come into them under the guise of 1080p. when you actually put your specs and you want to put a movie up on any platforms. All right, so that's 5 minutes. We talked about equipment. Now we're going to get to some actual footage and some shit that is a hood movie. So one of my hood movies is actually on YouTube. And I'm going to pull it up for y'all little light-skinned people real quick so y'all can check this out. Because this is one of my movies. If you put Hood Life, Yusef Hood in YouTube, it'll pop dead the hell up. It's one of my movies. So this movie is over 20 years old, to tell you the truth. But I made it in my 20s. And I love it. Shit, it's one of my first films. So let's go to this particular screen real quick. Yeah, you know what? Let's stop screen share because I actually don't be knowing how to switch them. But if you share again from Squizzy, it'll pop up. How to create. Okay, here it is. All right, as you can see right here, this is the movie. You can see me right there. How I made this movie with no money. I actually talked about that 3 years ago. You can see that on the next video. But this is the actual movie, and I want to click on that thing right there, and my name right there, Yusef Hood Film. I shot this movie in I think 2000, the year 2000, and it came out 2001. The funny thing about it is that the movie actually came out on the day 9/11. And it's an interesting story because I was in the school at that time. It wasn't DVDs; it was only VHS. So you had to put the RCA jacks and hook it into the back of the computer, and then it'll kick off a movie for you. And you would go take the actual tape of the movie, put it in a VCR, and you can watch the movie with your friends. So the day it happened, I was finished editing. I shot the shit over the summer. So that day I was done with it. I had shot it in August. So then September kicked in. I'm back in school where I was editing at the school. And shout out to Chicago State University. And shout out to Emil Jones, Senator Emil Jones, for putting that equipment in the school, which allowed me to become a filmmaker because you needed equipment at that time to create. So Emil Jones put that equipment up in there, and I was able to shoot. But what happened was 9/11 was that morning, which is September 11, 2001. And so as I was hitting the record button to get my tape of my film here, I was so geeked up. Everybody started screaming. It was like a loud scream for about 6 or 7 people at the same time. And it was like, what the hell? And they ran in this lady's office. And so we went in her office. You could see this fire and everything on fire in New York. And it was like, what the fuck is going on in New York? Everybody was stuck, glued to the TV, like, what's happening in New York? So I went back and sat down on my computer and was watching my movie come off the computer. You know, I'm watching it as it's playing out the recording of my final film. Of this film called Hood Life that we're about to watch right now. It's 2001. And then everybody screaming again, a collective scream. Ah! And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So I go back in the room and they say a second plane went into the tower. And now we all standing there like, oh shit, this looks like a war. And within a few minutes, the damn tower started trapping and falling. And then everybody came around, the securities and all that. And they was kicking everybody out of school. But they was actually coming to the school. Some people was coming to the school to teach us how to edit on a computer called Avid at that time. That's what I edited this movie on, the Avid. So you can see the movie right now. So it's called Hood Life. It's written, directed, produced all by me. Shout out to J-Dog, the guy who provided his music. He provided his music. That's him actually freestyle. He passed away in years ago.
Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm sick of the pain, sick of the pain. Sick of 5-0, always want to risk my frame. I'm sick of selling cane to maintain. I'm sick of these hoes nowadays. I just want brains, that's why I live near rain. With TVs, no bang, and 20-inch things. I like to keep it plain. This shit is quite simple, but hard to explain. Six straight, yo, that's why I hang. And I don't play no games. I'm like your father.
I like that little freestyle he did at the beginning because he was into rap real heavy. But let's cut to the shots.
Just left the cemetery. Shit, I got shit on my mind.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Stop right here.
What's this?
This the old spot. That's where I used to stay.
This it? This it?
See, at this time, at that time, this is 2001, 2000. So the camera equipment is what I used at that time. It was called DV, digital video. So that's what we used. That's what the camera was. So we just used the technology. So it looked weird today because technology has moved so fast. and so far up. So this movie is just older looking, but still beautiful. This house don't exist no more. This actually was like y'all call it a trap house. We call it a crack house at that time. But just where you could film at with nobody bothering you. Look like we're getting a little glitch on it. Let's re-hit it because we're gonna have to stop this thing a few times to actually play it. So we'll start the glitching shit. Yeah, so anyway, this movie was my magnum opus. I felt like and it went street viral, if you will. So like it was a VHS tape, but then the people actually started copying it and making their own. And this was unique for me because it was like, wow, I had no idea that people was gonna love it. But that guy J-Dog, he kept telling me, he was like, this movie is so fucking good. And I was like, man, he took all of us to New York for a trip to go take the movie to actually the Bad Boy Records. That's when we was young. That's what we was doing. We was going to bad. We went to the building that they was there until we drove from Chicago to New York to go get them this movie. And then we sold it along the way. And we sold it even when we got to New York. It was on VHS tape. So that's what we was doing. For some reason, my fucking internet is bugging. And this would be tripping to me because it's like it never does it. Like I could be on the fucking computer with 5 different things open and it never does this. And then as soon as I do a live video, one of these fuckers just won't work. It's just, I don't understand what's going on. So, I'm gonna have to just stop the live for now because for some reason, this never happens. It's like tweaking. Like, these videos never do this. Now all of a sudden, the bitch is acting like it don't fucking want to play. I don't understand what the hell happening. These videos play all the way through. You can watch this movie from the beginning to the fucking end. Now it's acting like it don't want to fucking play. Like, what's really good? I can see if you did that before. This shit don't even act like that. So let's see if I can get this shit to play again because I want to play my goddamn movie. But I don't understand what the fuck going on. I'm telling y'all the truth. This shit plays. Like, what the fuck is wrong with the internet? It's the craziest shit. Now I gotta find that motherfucker. I'm just gonna have to open it again and start it over because I can't even find that goddamn video no more. So it just started glitching so bad. I lost it. So let's find another one. Let's just open a new one. I don't even know what the fuck video it is. All right, because we playing this movie. We're showing you how to make a hood movie. But I was trying to give you an idea of how I created mine first because I'm a motherfucking expert at this shit. So I don't want you to be thinking I'm just somebody saying some shit. I'm a little expert at making hood movies and making good hood movies too. Like very good fucking hood movies.
Somebody we can holler at?
Yeah, I got a guy.
Shit, I got a little money, you know what I'm saying?
Trap house we call it a crack house when we was young. And that's how the scene opened up. How the story goes, this his brother from another town. He left town to go sell drugs in Minnesota or Iowa or something like that. And when he back and he want to make money in the neighborhood he grew up in, the little brother still stay there. At the crib he left, the big brother left. So now he like, hey, I want to come back and get some money. So the little brother like, all right, they talking about it.
What's going on,
Man, I ain't talked to nobody, heard from nobody, man. Ever since mom and dad.
What happened to what's the twins' name? What happened to the twins? They don't come around no more.
Nobody come around. It was just me.
Damn, man, it's all like that now.
As you can see, I'm moving the camera. I'm swinging the camera. The camera is not basically locked in on a shot or a face. These are medium shots, but I'm actually swinging
like that
from both actors, swinging the camera from one actor to the next.
Man, Joe, this your house now, man. I gotta see what's, man. I just can't do nothing in this house. I gotta ask your permission, nigga.
This is our house.
Let me light that up.
No, Charlie.
I can't find that up.
I gotta smoke the Dro.
That's how you gonna do your thing.
In fact, weed was called Dro back there, y'all. It wasn't called all the words they call that shit now. All right, so that's the intro shot. So you can see how that look at the interior. We use natural light. This is what you call this cactus. This lamp is called a practical because we didn't use actual light. We didn't have actual fucking light. We were just doing an independent Granny Hood movie. So we set up for the script and we talked about it. We talked about the storyline. We didn't write one. We didn't have an actual piece of paper. This is actually making a hood movie from nothing. So we just basically just talked about it for hours. We sat up, we smoked weed. We say, okay, what is going to happen? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And then we moved on to actually shooting. I had the equipment. Actually porch. And you can hear the raps playing in the background. That's another thing you're going to have to add music to it. So this particular music that I'm playing, what that guy J-Dog who freestyled in the beginning of the song, he gave this music to us. This was his artist, but the artist had got locked up, so they were in jail. So that's why he was saying, put them out because tell them when they're gonna come home. So this is like an independent rap. So I had never heard of these people. Actually, never even heard of them again to this day. But this was their music.
Yeah, it's decent right here.
And we put the actual shit that's in every hood movie. You got to have some weed in there because that's just how hood movies are because it's representing the hood, just like a lot of other people's stories. And then let's get to the rap scene. So at one point, we got our man. He came over to J-Dog. This is the guy I've been telling y'all about already. J-Dog right here. Rest in peace to this guy. He passed away years ago. This is the guy who was one of our main characters, Chop, right here. Ultimately, he runs the neighborhood that the guys want to sell drugs in. We could shoot over to that shop. But this is actually a freestyle scene because we throw rap scenes in our movies. Rest in peace to this guy, too. Smoke, he's passed on. But God bless him because he did the freestyle for our movie back in 2001. And I'm just grateful for his art.
Ass wannabes gonna catch the fucking fate. Bring the pressure, bring the pain, cause I'm insane. Doing my thing, let my motherfucking nuts hang. What you wanna do? Bring the drama, bring the flick. Best believe my niggas come straight up gangsta shit.
Try that whole shit, bet they won't find you. I got text that's gonna blind you, ain't smoke right behind you. Coming with some more shit, then get off that whole shit. Wanna bring it to the faces, then we bring it back.
All right, so this is how we went. Now we're going to kick it off to the actual scene. You can actually hear the music played a little longer. I actually played the song here. It was a walking scene, so you could actually hear that song we played. You see if I got it playing. No. Actually, we moved it. It's playing right here. I really respect those guys' music, so I want y'all to hear it play. Right. And then you can see that's my motherfucking car riding up right there in the background. We had the actors and shit. They had to use my actual vehicle, but you will see it later in the movie. So they come back here. They make a deal with the guy about selling in the neighborhood that he owns. He runs it now. So here's my old car from back in the day. We got the guy. This guy here walks up. He's actually. The funny thing about making a hood movie is that you use what you got. Like whatever is there is what you use. So this scene right here, what minute is this? 14 minutes. This guy who's going to walk up, he actually just got out of jail. And it's so funny because he literally just got out of jail. Like we would never know that. We had just particularly was at that location and he just got off the bus and was like, what the hell y'all do? We knew him, obviously. It looked like we having another glitch, so we're going to stop. Okay, it's back playing. So it's playing again. All right, so they made the deal. So now it's going to be a deal happening. So this is my vehicle. Actually, I had a car back there. And we on the strip that everybody hang out with. That main strip in the background is called South Chicago. But we was actually filming and didn't know that this guy was going to walk up. It randomly happened. Like we did not know that he was going to do that. But we actually knew him. He stayed like a block over. But he walked up in an actual jail outfit, which was unique to me as an artist. I'm like, what the fuck? And he said, I freshly just got out. What y'all doing? And we was like making a movie next to my car right there from 2000, the year 2000. And so anyway, but we had to put it in the scene. So that's because we didn't have money for a budget to get a car. So when the guy said he was from out of jail, fresh out of jail, I said, well, fuck it, you should be in this movie then. He said, bet. And he actually was in the movie. Bud is my homie from the neighborhood I grew up with. So, here's the scene.
Yeah, go ahead, try it for me, dog. Hold on. All right, go and try it again. I'll try it one more time, man. Hey, what that was, man? Dark Club wise and shit, man. The wise fucked up. Yeah, man, gonna go and grab some more new ones, you know? Hey, man, where you learn that shit from? Yeah, man. Where you learn this from? In a history, man.
And that's so funny because he literally did, and it's just uniquely how that happened. But he was willing and ready to act in the movie, and he did. He played an integral part in this film because what you will realize, what people understand by watching the movie, is that he was actually the brother of our. And it does look a little deteriorated on the first. It's the what you would say the quality of it, but that's because it's shot so many years ago. This actually was shot 24 years ago now. This is to 2024. So we keep going, we move on. What you're doing is you're going to ask people who you know and people who you run into in life to let them use your equipment, cars, like everything. Like this lady, I don't know this lady no more. I don't even know who house this was no more. But we actually moved to this. Here when we were filming. So the lady wanted to bid, so we was in that carpet shot. And we threw our main character in it. And then you could see where, again, the guy J-Dog, who actually helped produce.
Yeah, big baby, what you want to holler at me about, man?
This is one of the first things I actually used lighting on, because the beginning of the movie, it was moments where you could set up lights, plug in, for filmmaking, you have to have control of the location. But, if it's somebody's store that they actually activated and people are coming in, you can't really have cables running. If you do, you have to tape them down. So it's a lot that goes into filmmaking that is not really, you see the movie and the end results, you might think, oh shit, they got that done fast. But it's really a lot, because again, you have to make sure that you're not making people get trippy or nobody get hurt at the location. The internet is really tweaking today. You see this, it's not playing my damn fucking film. I'm mad because this shit works all the damn time. And then when you play the movie, it's just tweaking for some stupid ass reason. But this idea, I want you guys to have courage to go shoot your film. And by telling you, I shot this 25 years ago. Now, as far as the audio, I didn't have actually lavaliers at that time. I didn't have lavaliers. I had the camera at that time had a microphone on it. It was called a Canon XL1. That was the name of that camera at that time. And this is 1998. I got it. So like 2 years later, I shot this movie. It was rough though, because trying to figure out a story, trying to figure out the right people, and it was hard. So we got it together, and God bless that time. We came out with the movie 2001, but it came out the day of 9/11. Just so happened with that day happened to be the day. So I always say 2 bombs dropped that day. So make long story short, as you see, we didn't have a mic, so the people had to project their voice and look in the direction of the camera so that the mic could pick up the sound. And we worked out that Robert Rodriguez style.
Man, don't turn me down, man. I got a couple guys I'm gonna let loose.
Trying to convince him.
Man, I told you, man, I can't do nothing like that. I want to stick 100% to this music, man.
Hey, you tell me you like the truck, you like the Jag, man. You can't do that just because record shit.
Hey, y'all heard girls they randomly walked up to. We do not know the chicks. So I never did. Well, as we continue to go on, we go to the scene. So you see, we almost 30 minutes into the movie. You've been following a little story. You can watch this on YouTube. There's my other channel, Hood Films TV. And we just basically walked through the story of creating this movie back in the day. And this, I got plenty more films, but this is just one of my first ones, because if you're going to make a movie, you got to do it bad sometimes. You got to do it with whatever you got. And I remember at that time, digital had just came around. It wasn't even on the TV networks yet. They were still analog. They didn't switch until the year 2000. So it was like that. That year turned into 2099 to 2000. That's when he switched over to the digital world, that you all know and love today, because it was all analog. So for the first 100 years of the media, it was all analog, and they switched, and so that allowed us to be able to get the cameras, and we could shoot and do film. So I've been
What? 50%? Come on, man. Motherfucker already giving you 30.
this the guy, the drug dealer who run the neighborhood. He's telling them that he wants more money, that they have to give them 60% in order for them to actually continue to sell drugs in the neighborhood. And so they're like, whoa, what the hell?
Like I said, man, 60%. Ain't no 50%. Ain't no holler about. Ain't no getting down. Ain't no nothing.
All right, then, whatever. Holler at me later on, then.
All right.
So you see that the relationship broke down, and it broke down fast. The big guy want more money, man. So as we continue on to the story, we shoot. Another thing that you'll learn in filmmaking is you could use the same location to shoot multiple shots. So the one house that you shot in the beginning of the movie, we shot the lower part of that house when the guys were sitting on the porch. Then this is the upper part of that house, like an upstairs part, like a little balcony, back porch part, same house. So we did that. We went up there, we shot that. But if you look in the background, the way I shoot it, you can't even tell the location because you use the background of nature. And so the people can't tell what location it is. It just looks like a normal location. It's the same house. But we acting like, and if you watch the movie, it's a party scene. And this ain't the same house. So we did this to just convey, making sure that you use everything that's around you to produce the movie. So whatever, if you got a house, sometimes that house can be the top floor, the basement floor, it's like that. It's literally like that.
Man, I'm talking about this. Wow, so I hit the front door.
You can see that the audio still sounds okay. It's not like the audio is that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Man, see, you know I got you, man. That dust, man. Hell yeah, I even got
Like
you.
y'all get a little taste of how the story, how the sound sounds.
Yeah, I got you some.
Whoa, that's what I like. I'm gonna check that out later. Yeah, man. Just a bit think about this money, man.
Get yourself a style.
So you be getting down on the dust side, nigga.
You also working on your style. You said to the people what your style is going to be. And when they watch your film, they'll be able to pick up your style. They'll be able to know, for instance, Spike Lee got a style when he used to have the guy roll down the middle of the shot. And you would know, he's not walking, but then this thing that the guy will be doing, like floating, he would almost be like he's dialing towards you in the camera. And you looking like, damn, how is Spike Lee doing this? You know what I'm saying? But this is what he did to create his style. It was just some specific things. Or you can even look at somebody like Scorsese. He has a style. He does more of the Italian thing, where all the guys got the suits on, and they supposed to be so in their culture of Italy or a mob. Mobsters, you know what I'm saying? You got Steven Spielberg, he got a style. Steven Spielberg's style is basically coming from a child's perspective in the movie. A lot of his movies come from a kid's perspective, and then it goes up into the adults. The adult solving the problem, but the kid is the person who we follow as the main character of a lot of those stories that Steven Spielberg made. So you'll find yourself a style, but you'll create yourself a style by creating. Your style can't come from not creating, and it probably won't come in your first 1 or 2 movies, but you will be able to make yourself have a style. And so that's critical, because as you're creating this stuff, you're going to want your stuff to be unique and stand out further and more than anybody else's. You're not going to want nobody else's stuff to be misconstrued as yours. Oh man, somebody took my damn handle. I never came and took this handle off of YouTube for this channel, for my other channel, which you watching this movie on, because I really don't come to this channel. I only got like 22 followers, but I had this channel for so many years. Somebody actually took my damn thing, Hood Films TV, even though I got the actual brand. But YouTube rolled out this thing where you got to come and grab the this handles for the channel, which is really fake though, because I got another channel called I Love Chicago. and I got the handle. And then when I went back to that channel, they took the handle from me. YouTube did, but you can't contact YouTube. There's no way you get on the phone with them or nothing like that. So they basically just stole my damn. Somebody else got this handle because they got there first. But when I got there first on another one of my channels, YouTube didn't let me keep the handle. So it's bull crap. But we black people, so this is normal. When they shit on you in America, it's fucking normal shit. I'm just mad because these motherfuckers is now that I'm coming to get this handle, which is Hood Films TV, which is the channel that y'all watching this YouTube movie that I made Hood Films on. They're not gonna let me get this one. I have to put a 1 behind it or underscore or something dumb like that. I'm not really complaining because I really don't use this channel. But I'm saying on another one of my channels where I got to it first, I said, "What? I got this. I love Chicago. I'm from Chicago. I own the I Love Chicago YouTube. Let me get the handle at I Love Chicago." When I went back on that motherfucker, they gave it away. They took it from me. So it's bullshit because they could do this to black people, but we're on that shit. So you gotta treat you how the fuck they want to treat you. Let's get back to making a movie, because inside making a movie, this is what makes you unique. This is what makes you your own boss. This is what makes you a creator. I don't have to fuck with YouTube. I don't give a shit about YouTube. I can go make my own thing. My brand is called Hood Films. Anybody in the world would watch Hood Films. They wouldn't give a shit who owned it. They don't give a damn who made it. A Hood film is just like watching a Hollywood film or a Bollywood film or a crime film or fucking anything else in the world. So it's about branding. It's about thinking. So when you're coming up with a movie, you're not only just thinking about the story that you're creating or the movie that's going to come out. You're also thinking about the brand name that you're making. Like if your name is Frazier, if your name is Thomas, if your name is whatever, maybe you got a foreign name. Maybe your company. Because when I started Hood Films, my actual last name is Hood. Like I'm stuck with that since I was a little fucking kid. That's what my parents told me. Yusef Hood. All right, I wrote that down my whole life. So as I got older and fell into filmmaking, I learned about Lucas, George Lucas. He made Star Wars. Well, I was a little kid watching Star Wars. Like fucking my daddy took us to the movies. We watched Star Wars. So as I became older and wanted to be into filmmaking, and I learned about this company, Lucasfilm, because he was like really talked about because he had his own merchandising from his film, and we'll talk about that too. But his company was called Lucasfilm, and his name was George Lucas. So I said, well, damn, okay, well, shit, my shit should be called Hood Films. But obviously, Hood has this connotation, Hood from the streets, from the hood, and all that shit. And I can't. When I was a kid, that's not what Hood had. Hood, when I was a kid, was a white person that had one of those hats on, that's like those suits and shit, and they was like, "Get in the car, I'll kill you," like that. It was like one of those old white how they like who would you say, like Al Capone kind of guys. That's what when I was a kid, the word hood, that's what it meant. But when I got older, obviously they made hood be associated with black neighborhoods. It's whatever. So I picked up on that and said, this is a good ass idea. So if hoods is associated with America, I grew up in a fucking hood. Bam, the brand can take off. So I'm thinking before I even make my first film, I'm thinking what the brand name is going to be. I have a history of why it's called. What is the name of the brand that my company is behind? So when you make the logos, when you make everything else, people can associate Hood Films with you and as a brand. So they might not know me particularly. They might not know I'm a director. They might not know. When they hear Hood Films, it's going to be a ring to them. So one of my first movies I made is the one you're watching right here. It's called Hood Life. Well, at that time, 20 years ago, because this came out in 2001, but I shot it in 2000. So this is 24 years ago. So now you're looking at it like at that time, I wanted the name Hood to really have an impact because I'm young at this time. So I'm like, this hip hop hood shit, this is what the fuck the city in the world was. So now I'm older, it's way big, but my name obviously is still gonna be Hood because my parents named me that. So I'm not named after my father, but my parent had that as his last name. So I just went to go and check on that, to see if I could get that thing. But somebody else stole Hood Films, but you'll always know who the original Hood Films is because I didn't just have the last name and I didn't just start my brand called Hood Films. I actually trademarked it. So I trademarked it all over the world. So nobody literally can be Hood Films but me because I thought of this prior to. I can actually go get the trademark too if you want to fucking see it. It's in the next room. I go get the fucking trademark and show you the actual fucking trademark of this brand that I own. So nobody will ever be Hood Films, but they can always put the name up there and do that shit. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's just the way it is. I remember when Spike Lee is a filmmaker. And at years ago, man, it's so many years ago now. But it was a white dude who came out named Spike Jones. He's a filmmaker. He started doing music videos back when I was young. They sucked his dick, boy. He blew up. But Spike Lee sued him because he was like, the fuck is you doing? My name is Spike Lee. You taking my name. You know, Spike Lee lost that case. Yeah, Spike Lee lost that case because white people is the ones who decide. And they said he ain't infringing on your name and your brand. But Spike Lee say, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes, he is. This is supposed to be I'm the filmmaker. I'm Spike Lee, and this is years ago. I'm trying to see if I can still find that because Spike Jones is a filmmaker too and shit. And I wanted y'all to see that I'm not bullshitting on that. But they will. If you look that up on your own, you will see that. Let's just get back to the movie. So, boom. Oh, my boy over there. What's up, boy? Damn, they don't dumb me up. My man over there was popping. Throwing a trizzle. Was good, boy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You were hearing that story too. Yeah. So look, let's get back to the movie, man. We're gonna show some of the scenes of it, but I want y'all to go shoot y'all own movie because this is mad years ago for me. It's 24 years ago now. So, and again, it came out 9/11. So 2 bombs dropped that day. This just hit the streets.
I got home.
So Big Brother is nervous and shit now because he had to told those dudes that they had to give him more money. So now he's spooked. So he like, you know, even though he talk gangster to them, now he kind of nervous. He like, yeah, man. Well, I'm gonna let y'all hear it.
D now? D at the crib.
Yeah, I remember that nigga D.
Yeah, man. They been getting down with it, but man, they slowing everybody else up. I don't know what they doing.
Yeah.
Man, think they taking over. They got to give me some more chop, man. I already let them know, you know, but I don't know what they gonna do. I smell kind of funny, man. D brother act like he
getting jazzy at the mouth or some shit. Yeah.
Slick.
You know how we get down, dope.
Man, I'll show it to you, man. You know, it ain't.
Right. So now we go from this scene that I just basically got a 2-shot right here. Again, this is the same location for the beginning of the movie. Where you see this shot right here. What we did is this how you milk the location. So this building right here that we shot it, we got the front porch. This is the whole front door of the building when we first pull up to the shot. This is a crack house. Y'all call it a trap house today. But we was just using this building because my buddy right here, he still stayed there. He never left. The guy right here, Deep. The fucking internet be bugging so bad on me. But anyway, as we get back to it, they started beefing and shit, which is a script that I came up with, but I had them help me. We didn't do it. I didn't do it solo. I had them help me on the idea for the story. We sat down every day before we shot. We would hook up and we would smoke weed and we would just figure out what's the man.
Trying to get on.
So this is the interior of the same building. So then now here's the back porch of the same building, right? Same building, right? So now we go to the same building again. We back on the front porch and now we upstairs in that same building. Now here, we upstairs in the same building. This the second floor of the same building. We basically milking one location. Now, obviously, you know people. You got cousins, friends, aunties, mothers, brothers, sisters. You can ask a million people for their location. But what we did is we just used that same location and we made sure that we just milked it. So we used the top floor, the back floor. If it was a basement access, we would have used that motherfucker. So here's a shot that I want y'all to kind of get you a shot like this when you filmmaking, because as we shooting, one of my cousins told me, she said, this movie didn't even really show Chicago, so it really doesn't tell you where it is. And a lot of times people like to see the outside of that world that you got us in. So you got us inside this world watching a movie, a world of story. But people sometimes want to see outside that story, like show the buildings downtown, show like, you know what I mean, the restaurants or some shit like that. Show outside the storyline. At this time, I didn't do that. In this movie, I didn't do that. I didn't look at it from that perspective. We were locked into the story in this neighborhood, on this block, in this house with these 3 or 4 guys and what they was dealing with. But she wanted to make sure I remember to also add the outside. So this shot is probably the most outside you're going to get. And you can see the outside, which is the moon. And it took a lot to get this shot. A lot of time and a lot of moments to actually capture this shot. Having to get the moon walking behind those clouds. So this is the same location. Side of the house. The guys up on the porch now. This is our kill station. We're happy up. All right. So we got our main character taken down. Shout out to Big Chop for being a dope ass actor for this movie. And then we cut to the scene where I had to do this shot from the outside of the building through the window because I was shooting it to make it seem like the boy was hearing them argue about the death of his brother, which was from the shot prior. So I wanted y'all to see that shit too.
Damn, my brother. Killed my motherfucking brother. Nigga, you don't fuck with you, motherfucker. Fuck, nigga. Goof ass nigga, you done made him leave and everything, man. Damn,
Right.
man.
All right, so now we're gonna get back. We're gonna get to another one of the shots in the movie, and this is basically towards the end of the movie. So you can see one of our first movies was about. It looked like it was about 33 minutes altogether at that time, but this is 2001. So I just basically shot the people in my neighborhood, the guys who I could convince to be in front of the camera, and then they seem like they'll do it. One of the things that you'll learn in filmmaking is directability. It might even be a cousin, sister, mother, brother, and it might be somebody, your lover, your lady, and it might not be able to direct them. They might not even see you as a director. They might not even be able to even pronounce the words or say them back. And so a lot of filmmaking and a lot of it is not necessarily the equipment, the physical cameras and stuff like that you're going to do to make a movie. It's going to be a lot of times dealing with the actors, dealing with the people, and convincing them how to say the stuff, say it. You might have to do it over and over, obviously, take after take to get the people to be able to express themselves concisely to get the story across. You as the creator, you're gonna know how it gotta sound. You're gonna, as the director, you're gonna know how it has to sound. And when you on a shot, on a set, this is the moment of truth. So when you get the stuff back to the equipment, the footage, back to the house, back to the studio, you need to have that footage. You don't need to be not getting that footage. And so all this stuff is critical. So setting the camera in a perfect location is in your opinion. And you can see we got a crack shot or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that's nothing but with the baking powder or whatever it's called, flour. And we shot this and stuff. So now if you turn the sound up,
We finna be on. This finna be our hood right here, nigga. Man, we ain't never seen a good play dude car, man.
And make sure you have your tripod because I shot a lot of this movie handheld, but a lot of shots I did use a tripod to just make sure I had it on sticks in certain scenes. But a lot of it I shot handheld. But I'm talking about being stiff as hell and holding that camera. The camera was pretty long at that time. It was probably about, it was damn near two of these fucking water bottles. But at that time, the longer, bigger cameras exactly was what the times was. So the guy come over, they argue, and we got a murder scene here. And this is where we cut back to the guy saying he's back from the penitentiary because we made sure that we realized that type of behavior in the murder scene. And here's what I tried to do to.
Shit, man, I left earlier, man. My fucking brother got killed, man.
And as you can see, I put a heavy red saturation on this shot just to make it a little bit more, I guess, deafening, if you will, because again, we didn't have guns, we didn't have all that shit to make all that happen. So we had to make this scene be impactful. And so this is what I chose.
My brother, bitch ass nigga, this motherfucking penitentiary style, nigga. It's my motherfucking brother. Bitch ass, bitch ass.
All right, so we throw a little screen card down at the bottom. And that's my lady card from 1998, right there, old thing. And Merida. So we went to a local cemetery to get this shot. It wasn't not too far from where I was raised. And I thought this was a dope scene. Obviously, we took this to 1,000. We got the Cooley High from where I first saw that on down.
Damn, bro. I told you this shit was gonna happen, man.
And you can see the guys right there. We back on that shot. We do a little run back through the scene, through the movie, but we put scenes in the run back that wasn't in the movie. Like you don't see this shot in the movie. This is the shot. And then you can hear the guys rapping again. So shout out to my buddy who passed away, Trife. Matter of fact, he gave me this camera. Trife gave me this camera. And I want to make sure the world know that. Trife gave me this camera. He was looking for me in the hood. And when I was a kid, this is what a lot of white people had at their house to make the camera films. They would be, if you hear white people say, "Oh, I was a filmmaker making movies when I was a kid," they had a camera like this. This is a Canon 8mm. You know what I mean? I obviously didn't have no shit like this when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I would have been loving something like this when I was a child, but it wasn't like that in the hood, if you will, on the south side of Chicago. So one day I was in the hood and he was hunting me down, and he rode up on the side of me. Just so happened I was in the hood and he just pulled up on the side of me. He's like, "Hey!" I was in the passenger seat. "Hey, my lady," rolled the window down. He like, "Yo, I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you something. Pull over." We pull over, and then he bust out this camera. I'm like, "Damn, what's this?" He said, "I just want you to have this." I was really perplexed because we from the hood. Like niggas don't be going crazy like that to get shit like that. And I took the camera to the crib, and I have it ever since. And so I feel like, damn, thank you for giving it. But he ended up passing away, so rest in peace to him. So I just want to make sure y'all knew that because I got one of these cameras now. And it's really, I don't use it. It's just like one of those cameras that's kind of like a background camera. It's glad I got that. So I bet. So we get back to the movie. We're gonna cut through. We showing scenes of the movie that made them close, that made it tragic why the guy got taken out, even though he was a hard guy in the movie. And so that's the storyline behind this movie. And then he go back to the car, and then we go to the ending credits. And what you see again, McCrue's behind me. Yeah, so anyway, man, you got 35 minutes of this movie. The rest is the credits. And I'm going to say, and actually, you know what? We got outtakes too. There's outtakes in this movie. You can see one of the first days we were shooting, we had a whole bunch of police activity that pulled up in Chicago. And it was crazy. We probably had about 7 cops pull up, alley, back, and the front. You see them old police cars. And this is what it's like. So sometimes when you're out there filming, it could be crazy. You know what I mean? You have to really learn how to manage the moment. And I remember the guy who was playing the character while he was walking back and forth to the this is the house he was living at. He was walking back and forth to the cemetery. He had an ID. He told me, he said, "Let me show him my ID." And I was like, "All right, bet, because it's your crib." And then he pulled out a piece of paper, like a note. I'm sorry, not notebook, a brown paper bag. And it had his name written and the address that we was at on it. And I said, "What's that?" He said, "That's my ID." I said, "Man, you can't take that over to the police, boy. They're going to kick us up off this damn porch." So I had to go over there and show them my shit. We doing a movie. And they like, somebody said y'all had a gun. And they had a damn gun, whatever. Actually, it was, but it was a fucking prop gun. You know what I'm saying? I have to show you the prop. I can show you the scene right here. The fucking prop gun. But you know how that goes. You know what I'm saying? So, and there were so many of them, we was glad that they went on about their business. I think it was a Sunday that day. So it was really quiet, if you will. It wasn't like a Saturday. They probably would have ran us up out of there. But ultimately, we went on and shot the movie. This is like literally day one. This is, I remember this day. This is like day one of filming. It was not day 12 or day 9. It was like the first fucking day we got together. And but I want you to go to Hood Films TV. You see, that's the channel. I own that fucking channel. Don't worry about these motherfuckers trying to steal that little @ sign thing or whatever. But this is, you know, it's actually, yeah, I'm gonna let y'all hear it.
I didn't even tell her about it.
I don't know, but she's looking at me. She think I got a heat, man. Why she looking at me, man? You definitely know about that, man. She's looking at me. She's steady talking.
You see how boom, like it's like a Radio Shack with duct tape on a mop stick. You know what I mean? Like real Hood Films.
Yeah.
Hold on, man. Hey, man, when you get down to the bakery, man, get dude that, man, and keep an eye on him, man. I'm gonna holler at you in a minute. Dig, man. If dude on some bullshit, man, we gonna have to holler at you, man. The last nigga you brought through here wasn't nothing, man. I'm telling you.
That's like that.
Hell nah.
That's one of the funniest videos. The hood can make some money out of it.
Oh, I got to have this motherfucker somewhere where it won't open.
Let me see.
Cut. Let's do that one more time.
Oh, no, we can't do that one more time, G. That's the real as it went, G. That's the real as it went, G. Did you? Look how you broke down.
All right, so now we're going to the credits. And then you see, next time I call everybody to do the movie star, and I did not know how to do roll credits. Like it goes so slow. My credits were so fucking slow. And as I got older over the time, I never actually sped them up because I was like, this is something I want to make a memory from my past when I get older. That I didn't even know how to roll credits. Like I didn't even know. I knew how to make it go on there and write the words, but I didn't know how to actually make them go. Like you know how you see credits roll and shit. This shit took so fucking long to get. It's probably 10 minutes. I'm not even fucking kidding. Just fucking credits. But I'm glad too because it let everybody see their names. These people, we did not even change names. Like what we call these niggas to this day, that's what the fuck their names was in the movie. They didn't become actors. This is something else I had to learn in filmmaking. When you're doing filmmaking, you want to make sure you deal with people who actually are interested in doing this. Because all the people who you see their names right here, they cool people, they dope ass people. I'm grateful that they was in the movie. But they all went and did different lives. They all did something outside of acting. So if I walked up to them today and was like, look, you want to do a remake of, you want to do a 25-year reunion? I got to work. I've got kids. I'm living in another state. They didn't do this. They were actually just helping me out in my hood where I grew up at, in the neighborhood. And this is 24 years ago. So we was in our 20s. So I just stayed on the course of it. Obviously, you don't know YouTube, all this other shit, cell phones, video cameras, none of that's coming in the future. I was stuck into something that I love. You could just look at it like a rapper. Right? They might be stuck into wanting to make music. So I was always stuck in wanting to make movies. So at that time, the people in my hood was like, well, fuck it. We keep talking about this shit. We see you with this big ass camera because I'm walking in the hood and shit. I'm up on crack spots with my camera. Like I finally got one, but I didn't have an editing system. I didn't have a way to edit it. So I had to go to a school to edit it. But I got that fucking camera. And I tell you the story about getting the camera because that's a movie in its own life because the camera cost like 5 G's and it was so hard for me to get that kind of money at like 20, 24 years old. I had to fucking get 5 bands, but I did. And so I made the movie. But I want you to see that you can do the same thing if you just put your heart and soul into it and then people you know can help you. And also studying the craft. Like there's a lot more shit out there now to learn about filmmaking that wasn't available, just like YouTube. You can learn about the cameras, you can learn about the editing system, you can learn about shots, you can learn about framing, you can learn about composition, you can learn about writing the scripts, you can learn about so much on YouTube that could teach you the steps of how to make a film and how to produce. So this stuff is critical for your brain if you want to make this shit. It ain't hard no more. It ain't like where you need a bunch of people to fuck with you. You can just get down there and make some shit happen if you believe in your art. So that's why I say don't be afraid of getting out there and doing it because a lot of this shit is a lot easier today. It ain't as hard. You know what I'm saying? At this time frame when I made this movie, this shit was harder than a motherfucker. And trying to make the movie and keep the movie in people's hands to this day, obviously look at the quality has diminished. And I've even color corrected this movie, but I color corrected this movie 5 years ago. So now the technology has changed even further. So it's always going to be moves to steps in the game. And there's more movies. I got another movie on here. I got another movie on YouTube. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let's see if we can pull it up. I want to teach y'all filmmaking. It's the one-on-one right here. We ain't going to play with y'all. Let's see. I don't know. Is it still on here? Oh, Bomba Clyde. It's not on here no more. So I don't have that. It's got to be. It should be on the same channel if I'm not mistaken. Because I don't think I would have put that on it, but I could have. Movie. I got to put movie, right? Movie. Because there's so much shit on YouTube now. Yep, it's on here. Is it on here? The trailer is up there. I don't see the movie though. Is it on? Maybe it's on my other channel. Because your boy got a gang of channels. But it would pop up if it was on here because you could just write the movie directly in YouTube. Here's another one of my films though that is on here. Deceived. That's like maybe 15 minutes long. These are shorts. That was a short. This is a short too. But my other movie is obviously right on Amazon Prime. You can check that out right now. It's called Kill a Rapper, and it's a dope movie. That's about an hour long. But just to watch the trailer, just for the fuck of it, I'm gonna rock this trailer for y'all of my movie. This one's called Hero. Uh-oh, we look like we're slowing. We got a glitch. We glitching in this bitching them. So I got to try to get it to play. This 7 years ago when I put this one out. So, YouTube for me, before I started trying to just blog and talk to y'all every day, it was like a place to leave my product so that they won't ever go away. So people like YouTube is never going to go away. And I'm like, well, cool. Let me put some product up there because I can't. Hard drives crash. And they had clouds and shit, but they want you to pay for clouds, and YouTube is free. So I would just upload my movies on there. And I would suggest you do the same thing. If you got films and footage that you don't, well, you can make the shit private. You don't even have to have it where it's out where other people can see it. But this movie was a trailer for one of my when I got my grad degree in filmmaking. But for some reason, it's slowing around, and it's just this bullshit slowing around shit that goes on. So let's see if I can hit the button again and make it play. Nope, it won't play. So if I push past that part, what's going on? Yeah, we have bad internet today for some reason. Maybe another time this should work. It always works. I just don't even know what the hell going on today. But it's on my Hood Films channel if you ever wanted to see this stuff. And the current channel that we actually on. So, but it's just one of the older videos. So I'm not going to hold y'all on here no longer because this shit's acting weird. And you at least saw Hood Films 101. You got a glimpse of it. You know what it is. Your boy talked to you directly from the heart. You watched one of my movies, one of my first movies back in the day, because that's a journey. Filmmaking and this stuff and doing creativity is a journey. So you never know how it's going to start or you never know where you're going to land, but you always know you're going to be doing it. So my music is on Yusef 2 times. That's my first name. The number 2, Times, Yusef 2 times. That's my music. And you should go check that out because I got a new song and it's killing. It's crazy. It's so amazing. I just played it on the other channel. So my Yusef 2 times, and I just shot the music video. We actually talked about the music video, the fact that that's the first time anybody has directed me because I've always been behind the camera. But this time we let somebody else direct. My buddy Steve Stoner, you see his name over there in the comments. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the better filmmakers and rappers in America. So I wanted y'all to hear him and go rock with Steve Stoner is his brand. And so, yeah, that's that. So I love y'all. I'm going to hit y'all up soon. Let's be back on here in a minute talking about some more filmmaking. We're going to get up to Hood Film, How to Make a Hood Movie 102. And you know I got a book about this on Amazon Prime. Guess what it's called? How to Make a Hood Movie. It's that simple. Go get the book.